Hello everyone, this is a quick overview of the new suspension report that's available in PowerSchool. Just a quick overview of how to fill in the data and how to print it off. The first thing you'll need to do from the PowerSchool homepage, of course, is select your student that you need to fill in the suspension report for. So in this case, I've already got the student selected down here, but in case you didn't have that, of course, you just type in their last name, click on that, and you'll notice that incident list comes up because it's the last thing that I was working in. Of course, if it didn't, you can scroll down to the left-hand column and come up to incidents. So as you can see, I've already filled in an incident for the student. I filled in the data, the appropriate data for the incident that occurred today in this testing environment. And you'll notice that I've got the offenders here, and also their consequences and their behavior actions are also on here. So what I need to do now is to fill in the suspension reports for these students and print those off and send them home, and also have copies for our files as well. So of course I'm working with the student Donald Duck at the moment, so what I'm going to do under administration is click on incidents. My apologies, I'm going to click on suspension report, and I'm going to select the suspension up to and including 5 days or suspension exceeding 5 days. So in this case, this suspension will be his first of the year, so I'm going to select up to and including 5 days. When I click on the down arrow, the administrator will appear here. If for some reason the administrators in your building do not appear, then please follow the instructions as per a previous email that I had sent out on adding the administrators into this section. The first day of suspension, I'm going to put as today, and of course you just click on the calendar to make it easier. Last day of suspension I'll put as Friday. Suspension type, that would be an out-of-school suspension, and return to school date on here as well as the 22nd. Number of days, you'll have to calculate that manually. And date contacted, you can put this information in for your purposes. And the conduct code, that will be the standard code from EECD. In this case, it will be fighting. And then, of course, the conduct comment. This is the information that will actually appear on the suspension document for the parent. So you can put in the information that you need. And when you're done, you can click Submit. And you'll note when you do that, then your suspension document automatically populates with the following data: the name, address, telephone number, and of course the date of birth would be there for a real student. Also, parent information will be over here for real students as well. That might be a little bit longer. Their student number, grade, homeroom teacher, and administrator. You'll notice that their date of suspension and return and so on, all is down here. The length of suspension and information is over here. And then at the bottom of the document will be the reason for the suspension. The underlined comment will be the EECD code that you would have picked, the appropriate code. And then, of course, the information that you typed in regarding why the student was suspended. And then there's a couple of bits of information that will be standardized in the form regarding students who are suspended from school, not being on school property, etc. And at the very bottom of the form, of course, is the signature line, the date line, and the copied section as well. So to print this document off when you're done, you have the ability to print from the blue line, from the PowerSchool line. You can click print from here. If you wanted to print from your browser, you certainly could do that as well. In order to do that, I'm working in Firefox, so the print icon is actually on the right, and I would click here and go down to print and so on. For those people who are working in Internet Explorer, it's just on the opposite side. There's a little gear mechanism right about here where my mouse is in Internet Explorer, and you click on that, and of course it gives you the exact same menu for printing. So you can print from either one of those and have the suspension report print. So if I click on the print icon here, of course it asks me if the printer is correct and so on. I can print as many copies as I need, and I can click OK if I need to do that. So This is exactly how to print how to fill out and print the suspension document. If, of course, when you're going through this after you've already done this and realize that there is a mistake made in the document, then all you have to do is click on this little arrow right here beside Report Preferences, and it will take you back to the form you were just at a second ago. And you can do changes or make any changes that you need to do. Maybe this is actually not his first suspension of the year, and you need to make that an exceeding 5 days suspension, and maybe he's already had 9 days this year of suspension. And when you click Resubmit, that information will populate to the form, and the changes will be made effectively. The interesting part about this, of course, is that because I changed the form to school exceeding 5 days accumulated, that the information regarding the appeal shows up here at the bottom, and how they would go about appealing the suspension if needed. So this is a brief synopsis of how to fill in the suspension report and how to print. Please remember that this report does not save. It is a web fillable form, but if I were to click on PowerSchool right now, it would take me to PowerSchool Home, and this form data would disappear, and I'd have to refill it in again. So just remember that when you're typing on it, that once you print it off and you leave, then this document disappears, and the information itself is gone as well. So just keep that one in mind as you're working through it. Thank you.